Here's our first look at comparing the new and old Xbox controllers. It has been a pretty wild 24 hours, if you will, because it was just yesterday that we got our eyes on the very first look at the next generation Xbox controller. And obviously the big reveal there was it was Xbox Series S compatible. And we all know what that means, that Microsoft is going to be announcing this console. It is not a big secret. We also know it as Lockhart. And we got a bunch of different images. And these images have been popping up all over the place. They are on Facebook. They are on Reddit. They are on 4chan. They are on NeoGAF. They are on Reset Era. They're popping up everywhere. All of many different images of the Xbox controller. I just don't even know how to explain it at this point. They are everywhere. And so here is what I want to take a look at. What I believe is, at least first for this channel, a look at the next generation controller side by side with a current generation. And I think this view gives it the best look. Now, the older generation is up top and the new generation is down at the bottom there in that robot white. And so I've got a lot of opinions or thoughts on this. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know it in the comments. But first off, there's the very obvious statements that, hey, the D-pad is different. There's a share button. Microsoft had already announced this. That is not new information at all. What is sort of more defined is that you can, if you look at the top of the controller around the Xbox button, on the old design there was some defined lines, some like chiseled out. It's also tapered towards the top, and the current, or new, I should say new generation, is all completely flat. It's a much more plain and simple design. You can also see some adjustments too, will look to be around the triggers or the bumper buttons, however you want to call them here. You can see a little less definition, I should say, on the new controller versus the current. It's a different look. Now, Microsoft has already told us that this controller is smaller. So if you're thinking, hey, that does look smaller, you're absolutely right. Your eyes are not deceiving you tonight. But it does, I don't know. To me, it looks like Microsoft made some changes to the design to make it easier to produce. The reason why they want to make it easier to produce is that then it costs less money to make, and that means their margins are higher, or that they're already expecting that the console is going to be really expensive, and this is just one way that they were able to save some money with the controller. I hope that it doesn't result in a diminished feel or anything else like that. Granted, I have not personally held one of these. I'm simply looking at the images just like everybody else, but I like the current design. I got to be honest. And I'm not talking about the camo green with the orange underneath the thumbsticks. I'm talking about the actual design in itself. Just being that simpler look, I don't know. It's not my favorite, if I'm being completely candid here. And you can get a better look at the back of the controller, relatively unchanged. Nothing too shocking there. Same door, same way you access the battery compartment. And again, looking here at the front, you can definitely see around that Xbox logo it's pretty significant. Once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, you can't unsee it. And so I don't know. It's different. Different isn't always bad. I don't want to say that different is, ruining the experience. You can see a little bit closer look up of that D-pad and the share button. It's different. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. But this is sort of a first comparison, if you will, of the two controllers. Now, with a smaller design, it should weigh less. So if you've ever had gaming fatigue where the controller weighs too much, I can't imagine that this is going to be a significant change for you. But hey, it's definitely going to be lighter. So that is absolutely one advantage of the new controller. Now, if you want to compare something a little bit more closer, I'm going to throw up on the screen here a current white controller, and you can see the black at the top, and then you look at the new one without the black band, and you can just tell that it just looks a little cheaper, which is a little disappointing. And so I'll leave it up to you, dear reader, dear listener, dear compadre of the channel. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll be back next time we have more information to share.